guys, welcome back to another reviews and reads, and today we're talking February reads and March TBR. Alright, just like my other videos, I'm going to go in order from beginning of the month to the end. I'm going to leave my best book of February for the end, and then tell you my ratings. We'll go talk about what I'm going to read in March. Yeah, this is just, you know, fun. But anyway, first book I read in February was Mirror Lake, and this is the third book in the Shady Hollow series. So this is by Juno Black, and I've talked about these before, but they're all just cozy little mysteries, and all of the characters are animals. I liked this book. Let's see, what did I give it? I think I gave it 4 stars. Yep. Again, cozy, fun, easy little murder mysteries that just make you smile. They're just really fun. They're not controversial or anything. They're just fun. So if you need a good, easy read, something to entertain you, highly recommend Shady Hollow. Okay, next I read a Kindle book, No Place Left to Hide by Megan Lally? I'm not sure, but this book was okay. It was not my favorite. I gave it 3 stars. Again, it was another easy, quick read. It did have some twists. There was one scene that did really scare me. But yeah, a couple of the twists were predictable. One maybe kind of was not, but yeah, this was not my favorite thriller that I've ever read. So I gave this 3 stars. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I did get a little bored, but it was a fast-paced book. I did read it pretty quickly. So again, if you need a good thriller that's going to get you a nice quick read, then I would say check it out. But don't be expecting it to be like, I don't know, a masterpiece, I guess. But next I read Two Twisted Crowns, which is the Shepherd King series. This is number 2. 5 stars. Loved this book. I read One Dark Window in January, and then I read Two Twisted Crowns and absolutely loved it. It had a little bit of it was focused on some different characters than the first book, which I thought was interesting and I was not expecting. But man, this is a fantasy adventure, and I really liked it. I would highly recommend this series. I didn't think I was going to like it when I started out because they have kind of a gothic vibe, but ended up really enjoying them. So I would definitely recommend if you need a good fantasy adventure. And it's not like dragons fantasy. It's like magic fantasy. So yeah, really, really, really great book. Next, I read Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. So I have heard that this book is even better on audiobook. I'm not a big audiobook person, but I did really enjoy reading this book. And I gave this 5 stars. It was like, I could not put it down. I had to find out what happened. And yeah, it was funny too. So it was kind of like a humorous thriller. I really enjoyed this book. 5 stars, as I said. Then I read All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. Nope. Did not finish. Couldn't do it. I think I got maybe 20 pages in, 2 chapters, maybe 3, and there was nothing, not a single thing that I cared about in that book. Nothing interested me. I put it down. I'm not going to waste my time reading a book that I don't like. Then I mentioned I wanted to start the off-campus series. So I did. I started The Deal, which is the first book. Another 5 stars. Kind of gave me Windy City vibes. But I really liked this book. Again, it was another one that I couldn't put down, and I spent like a lot of time reading. I just really liked it, and it was fun. Just a sweet book, and maybe not sweet's probably not the right word, but because it is like a romancy book. But yeah, I did really like it. I don't know what else I can say other than I wish I'd read this sooner. Okay, next I read Bridesmaid for Hire, which is the first book in the Bridesmaid for Hire series by Megan Quinn. Oh my gosh. This book had me rolling. I was laughing so hard that I cried. And I read a Megan Quinn book in December and saw that she had, you know, I was looking into her other books and saw this one and I thought, well, that looks funny. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I do have to say that the male main character, Brody, kind of gave me the ick. And, I don't know, just the way I picture him is not attractive to me at all. But they're absolutely hilarious. I loved this book. Next I read, I need to remember I have books next to me to talk about too, not just Kindle books. I read Melania, and okay, I'm not a big memoir person. I read this, I read the Matthew Perry memoir, and I read, what is his name? Tom Felton from Harry Potter. And, you know, the thing about memoirs is whoever's writing it only wants you to know what they want you to know, right? So, like, it might be put out as a, oh, get to know me, here's my life type thing, but it's still a very controlled narrative. And I feel like that about any memoir. I did feel like this about Melania, and I still enjoyed it. I think what interested me about the most about this book was reading about the time in the White House, COVID, all of like the travel and things that went into, you know, Trump's first presidency. And that was really interesting for me to read about. But like the first couple chapters, I don't know, maybe the first 3 or 4 chapters, if I read the word determination one more time, I was going to scream. So yeah, and I don't know, I liked this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Again, I thought it was really interesting to read about her time in the White House. Also, I just want to say there's a lot of like pictures and stuff in here that I enjoyed looking at those. 4 stars, and I talked about this in January, but I think this is a gorgeous book. I wouldn't have gone with a matte cover though, because look at all those fingerprints. That drives me nuts. What did I read next? Oh. Oh, that's helpful. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it so much, I read it on a Friday night, which is not actually really saying a lot because I don't do anything, but I did spend a Friday night reading this book, and yeah, it was good. 5 stars. Loved it. I am gonna read, I loved it. So, yeah, it was a good book. So probably my biggest surprise of the month. I had started this, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and got through the first couple chapters, and after, I think I got to the point where he showed up at her door, and at the first time I read it, and at that point I was like, I am not, like, no, I don't care about this. So anyway, I pushed through, and yeah, again, another one I wish I would have read sooner. Is it my favorite book of all time? Best thing I've ever read? No. But is it a good book? Yeah, it is. Okay, next I read Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and another book that I really enjoyed. I thought this book was funny, and I gave it 4 stars. Again, I felt like the writing was trying a little bit too hard to be like quirky, if that makes sense. But I really enjoyed the story. Writing not my fave, but I did like the story. Now, however, I have read some reviews of the next book in this series, and I don't think I'm going to continue on to read that book unless something just drastically like changes in my mind. I don't think I'm going to. So this will probably be I'm just going to pretend this is the only book in the series type deal for me. Last book I read in February was The 7-Year Slip. Before I start talking about this book, I just have to say, like, the concept of time and time travel is completely over my head, so I don't understand it. But I gave this book 4 stars. I felt like it was a little slow. I don't know. I liked it, but I also felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel like the relationship between the two was like super well developed. I don't know, and I got kind of tired of Clementine, the main character, talking about how like guarded she is and blah blah blah. But I did, as the book progressed, I did like it. I liked how the story ended up. I don't want to give any spoilers, but if there was one point in the book where I did cry. So if you've read the book, you maybe know what I'm talking about. But yeah, again, another one that I'm pretty late to the party on, and I did like it. I think I gave it 4 stars. So if you're into like romance books, then yeah, I would say give this one a read. Well, y'all, when I was editing this, I realized I forgot to talk about my book of the month. And my book of February, the best book I read, was The Women, Kristen Hanna. And if you've read this book, you get it. It is so powerful. It's heartbreaking. It's empowering. It's deals, like every Kristen Hanna book, deals with heavy subjects. And like the portrayal of Frankie when she came home, and everything she dealt with was hard to read, but the way that she wrote that book was just so, it was beautiful. So if you haven't read this book, you definitely need to put it on your TBR. I think I gave it 5 stars, obviously, if I didn't say that, but absolutely amazing book. And Frankie is probably one of my favorite main characters of the books I've read. She's a badass. So yeah, again, if you haven't read it, definitely would recommend. Full disclosure, I did have 2 books on my February TBR that I did not finish, and that's okay because I had a pretty aggressive list in February. I had 14 books on my list, so I ended up reading 12, and I'll talk about those real quick before I go into my March books. But I did not get to Funny Story. I'm reading this right now. I am on page 220, so I will talk about this in my next video. So how many pages is this? 300 and I'm trying not to see any spoilers in the book. Okay, it's like 385 pages. So I'm at page 220. Yeah, I'll talk about this in March. The other one is another Kindle book, and it's Only in Your Dreams, Oakwood Bay #1, L.E.K. Wild. Sorry. So I am going to also read this one in March. I am looking forward to it. So that's my February list, my currently reading. And let me know what you think of any of these books if you've read them. I I had another good reading month, so I'm pretty happy with how my reading has been going lately. And I hope that March is the same. So let's talk about my March list. I have 8 books on my March list. Before I get into that, I just want to say I am loving my new Kindle. Let me show you. I did decorate the redid the back of it with new stickers. So, and I got one of these little, first off, I got a lock screen from Etsy. But I also got one of these little hand strap things. So you can like put your hand in here and read instead of like a pop socket. I don't like this when I'm like laying in bed reading because I feel like it turns my hand at an odd angle. But I do like it when I'm just sitting like on the couch reading and I can kind of hold it up. Anyway, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Probably not, but whatever. Anyway, I've got a lot of Kindle books on my list for March because a lot of books finally became available at the library. So here we go. Demon Copperhead, Barbara Kingsolver, We Begin at the End, Chris Whitaker, my king. Cleopatra and Frankenstein, Coco Mellors. Beautiful Ugly, Alice Feeney. I talked about Funny Story. I talked about Only in Your Dreams. And I also have a couple physical books I want to read. Let me just state the obvious. Court of Mist and Fury. I'm coming for you. Then, the next Shady Hollow book, Twilight Falls. I'm really looking forward to this. These are actually 2 books that my sister got me for Christmas. So another one by Coco Miller, I don't know. Someone tell me how to say that. Blue Sisters. Supposedly this will make me cry. Great. And the second one my sister got me for Christmas, Bear, Julia Phillips. So, again, if you've, oh, there's gift cards in here. Nice. Okay, I don't want to lose those. Again, if you've read anything on my March list, let me know what you think. I love chatting books. So, yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions or things that you think I should read. I would love that too. And I will see you guys in April. Oh my gosh. To talk about March reads and April TBR. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time.